It's been a while since I've regularly worn a Fitbit. I'm Erin from TechGadgetsCanada.com, and as an Apple Watch owner, I admit that I've been using that device exclusively for quite a while. So this opportunity to review the newest Fitbit Charge 4 has been a great chance for me to get reacquainted with Fitbit, and it's also made me realize that while the Apple Watch is great for a lot of things, its health, fitness, and activity tracking can be lacking when it compares to Fitbit. I'll get into why coming up. An early heads up that if you end up liking this video and finding it helpful, to please hit that like button and give me a sub, because it does help me keep making more videos that I hope everyone out there can watch, enjoy, and learn from.
Fitbit Charge 4 is Fitbit's newest activity and sleep tracker that you wear on your wrist. What's new from the Charge 3? Primarily the addition of GPS tracking. This tracker also has 24/7 heart rate tracking, and it's swimproof. The Fitbit Charge 4 tracker comes with a basic silicone band and simplified monochromatic touchscreen display, but you can also customize the different bands to add the colors and styles you want to match either your workout or your wardrobe. In the box, your Fitbit includes the tracker with 2 different sizes of wristbands and the charging dock.
Usually the setup will be a simple process, but before you start, make sure your Fitbit app is up to date or download it fresh from the Apple Store or Google Play. If you already have a Fitbit tracker installed on your account, that could complicate your setup. The last few times I've added a new tracker, the app wouldn't see the new device until the old one was actually removed. So you may want to unlink or remove your old device from your account, but happily, the Fitbit app will now prompt you to do this. You can follow the easy setup steps in the app and you should be ready to go in minutes. My setup was easy and uncomplicated. You can turn on move reminders that will nudge you if you've been sitting around for too long, and you can also set things like silent alarms that'll buzz you at certain times of day too. There are really a lot of ways to get moving using a Fitbit.
Using the touch screen, you can swipe through the screens on the device or use the app to see your progress at any time.
The Fitbit Charge 4 here has some features you might really like. You can track your runs with GPS. You can see your real-time pace and distance without using your phone. Then you can get a map of your route later in the Fitbit app. You can track your activity or your steps, track your sleep, and the Fitbit Charge 4 here will also help you set and meet goals to give you extra motivation. A really important feature of Fitbit for me is the ability to calibrate your device to your stride, and this can make it hyper accurate for you. This means you're not getting a universal average step count or an average step size. That's what a lot of other fitness trackers will do. They'll just count your steps using sort of what everybody's average stride is. So if you're taller or shorter than the average person, your step counter might be completely out of whack. So this calibration, this is one of the features that for me makes it better than an Apple Watch for tracking fitness, in my opinion.
To calibrate your step count, go to your account settings, scroll down to advanced settings, then scroll down again to the bottom and choose stride length. You can choose to have it configured automatically or to input your specific stride length. I've found doing this makes Fitbits wildly accurate. The Charge 4 is swimproof and it'll give you call, text, and calendar alerts right to your wrist, but you can't reply to them or respond. You'll need to go to your phone for that.
To get those alerts, you'll need to make sure your Bluetooth is on your phone, and you will need to turn on something called all-day sync in your settings. You can also change the clock face in settings as well, choosing simple displays and fonts or the option of showing more data, depending on what you want to see.
Your tracker connects to the Fitbit app, and let's take a look at what the app does. It's your command center for all your metrics. You can check your step count, your sleep hours, and your exercise at a glance. You can also sync it to a Fitbit scale and have it automatically track your weight. The Fitbit app offers female health tracking too. It can track your periods and fertile days, as well as things like mood and other symptoms. Once you start adding your cycle, the app can give you an idea of when your next period will fall. In the app, you can also add goals like how much sleep you want to get and choose if you want your Fitbit to remind you it's getting close to bedtime.
A fully charged Fitbit Charge 4 has a battery life of up to about 7 days, which is huge in my opinion. The battery is definitely long-lasting and doesn't need as much attention as something like a smartwatch. My Apple Watch, by comparison, really only lasts about a day or a day and a half, so having a week of battery life in this device is really nice. It charges up by clipping into a small cradle and then plugging it into a USB port. Charging fully takes about 1 or 2 hours, and while the tracker charges, you can press the button to check the battery level. So who is Fitbit Charge 4 for? The Fitbit Charge 4 has fewer bells and whistles than some of Fitbit's smartwatches, and so it costs less too. There is no color display like on some of the more expensive models. I would say this version is definitely for someone looking for something light, small, and unobtrusive and not so obvious to wear, so they can keep tabs on runs and heart rate in particular. How accurate is a Fitbit? Over my years of testing nearly every Fitbit that's been made, I've found Fitbits to be wildly accurate. You can easily test it by counting your steps in your head and then comparing that against the digital readout. If it's out at all, you can adjust your stride length inside the Fitbit app, as I mentioned. There is no way to configure the activity on my Apple Watch by comparison, so what I noticed is that when I calibrated my Fitbit, I was definitely hitting my 10,000 steps per day goal, while my Apple Watch count was thousands of steps behind, and I never met my daily goals, which honestly was kind of disappointing and for some can feel truly disheartening.
As for sleep, I also found it very accurate, calculating my sleep stages to match when I woke up in the night. There's lots more sleep data too, making a Fitbit a great option for those with sleep concerns. My Apple Watch doesn't even track sleep on its own. With heart rate, I guess it's hard to tell how accurate any tracker is on its own, since I don't have any doctoring tools like a medical grade EKG or anything to check it against.
Overall, the Fitbit Charge 4 gives you most of the smart features you want and all of the heart rate monitoring and fitness and activity tracking you need. I've recommended Fitbits for a long time because they're easy to set up and use and they work well, they've got a long battery life, and they are as accurate as can be, so I can definitely recommend the Charge 4 too. If there are any downsides, it's just what this one is missing because it's a smaller, cheaper option. It's missing some Fitbit features like built-in guided workouts and premium sleep tracking features, and it also doesn't have things like an always-on display or Alexa voice assistance, which can be found on the more expensive Fitbit models. The screen is also pretty small, but again, you can step up the ladder and get a more expensive Fitbit with a few more bells and whistles and get that colorful, bigger display if that's something you want and need. For me, this one is more about the fitness focus and on budget, so it's going to be definitely very wallet friendly. It sells for about $199 Canadian from places like Best Buy or Amazon. If you want to read more about it, head over to techgadgetscanada.com where I've posted a full write-up. You can ask me any questions you have about the Charge 4 either there on the blog or, as always, here on the YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Erin. Until the next video, you can catch me on either Twitter or Instagram. Find me at ErinLYYC. You can also always reach me through Facebook at facebook.com/techgadgetscanada.